Welcome back to Tuesday Night Hype number 68, everybody. My name is Bloody, and I'm joined by my increasingly handsome partner, Ginge. How you doing, Ginge?
I'm still alive and well after last series. Hello, everyone.
Good. Glad to hear it. You know, there was a chance that you just wouldn't make it out. But you're here. We're on match number 2, the second semifinal to see who will rival Chloe in the finals. We have Banditkeith versus Crimzig. Banditkeith has his Warlock, Shaman, and Druid, his Warriors banned, and Crimzig has Warlock, Paladin, Druid, his Mage is banned. How you feeling about these lineups?
Once again, I think banning the Warrior was correct out of Crimzig. I'm not sure how I feel about banning Crimzig's Mage, though, out of Banditkeith. Just because I feel like Zoo is fine against Tempo Mage. Shaman, I feel like, is close-ish with Tempo Mage. I might have just banned the Warlock and hope that Tempo Mage just didn't do Tempo Mage things. But I think banning the Mage is fine. Like, it's not, like, too big of a difference. So if he's uncomfortable playing versus that deck, then, like, it's totally fine.
I was going to say, you don't always know that it's Tempo Mage. That's the thing. You might just assume it's Freeze Mage, and you might look at your own lineup, and you're like, my Warrior's probably going to get banned. I might as well ban the Freeze Mage.
But then you have Druid and Shaman for Freeze Mage. So.
Okay, yeah, no, that's a good point. All right, yeah. I like what you were saying there. How is Tempo Mage against Warrior, actually?
Why? Oh, just in case, like, you ban his Mage and then he doesn't ban your Warrior. I think that Patron's favored.
Okay. Alrighty, that makes sense. Well, hopping right into the game here, we see Banditkeith's Aggro Shaman versus Crimzig's Zulak. Interesting Wolf Rider and Aggro Shaman. I've seen quite a bit of innovation from our resident Shaman expert, Demigod. So I'm not too unfamiliar with the Wolf Riders in Aggro Shaman. Nothing short of Murlocs would surprise me, honestly. But definitely interesting that he's being a little innovative. And let's see. As we are going into the game here, we do want to talk about Banditkeith is on a hot streak of winning tournaments. He actually won DTV just 2 weeks ago and is currently ranked one of the top on Strivewire. Meanwhile, Ginge, you want to tell me a little bit about Crimzig?
Crimzig, he's kind of well known. Not sure how he's been doing in recent tournaments. He doesn't have a high Strivewire rating like Banditkeith, but he is on New Order Esports with Astrogation and his fellow teammates. So he's a little bit more established, and it's nice to see the competition being a mix of rising players and the more established ones.
I could not have said that better myself. And now Banditkeith is looking at a very decent aggro Shaman curve. It barely looks like Shaman, honestly. It's just looking like any aggro deck at this point. But Crimzig is also looking at, oh man, I didn't even look up. That's an even better curve against aggro.
Oh yeah, yep.
Holy cheese.
His hand is really strong here, and Banditkeith, despite being kind of like aggressive, is pretty bad, right? Like, the jugglers aren't going to get a lot of value. They get traded into really easily. This Leper Gnome, or this Voidwalker caused a lot of problems for the Leper Gnome here.
Yeah.
I think he's really far ahead just after that first turn.
Yeah. Damn. When you get curves like that, that's just the best feel. That's like that's your deck telling you, come on, bro, you got this.
Could nail the 33%er here and then trade in Leper Gnome and Flame Imp trades for Juggler, and it's not as bad as the Knife Juggler coming down.
Okay. Well, he didn't.
He certainly didn't.
Alrighty, well that's a little unfortunate, but we're still seeing alright, so it's not like Crimzig has this in the bag. I mean, if he just keeps on drawing really small things, Banditkeith could overwhelm him, but so far it seemed pretty fair.
I mean, he doesn't have it in the bag, but if he can get far enough ahead on the board against Shaman, it doesn't really matter how many dead cards he draw. So True. This guy, he jugglers here, I think. Yep, I think jugglers better. Abusive? I think they're both. Well, the abuse. Oh man. I mean, if you abusive, then it just gets traded into by Spider. I mean, I guess it helps protect your juggler if you don't know what Crimzig's hand is.
Also, maybe you kill the Voidwalker. Maybe shoot another 33% and say, I didn't win the last one, maybe I'll win this one.
Suppose. I mean, you don't really have, like, a ton of choices.
Yeah. There's nothing really that amazing here.
You play the Abusive. I guess you just play the Abusive just because you're probably going to Arch an Ore Strider next turn anyways into the 1-1 if you don't hit it, and the Abusive won't matter then either. I guess you toss down the Abusive.
Alrighty.
I definitely think Banditkeith.
Let's see. And it swings to the face again. This Knife Juggler says smork and goes for it. The jugglers know what to do. Crimzig, drawing his Imp Gang boss, is going to trade very favorably with possibly both Knife Jugglers, as it does not die after the first swing of one, and it spawns more Imps. So he seems to be in a great position no matter what he decides to do.
I think I Juggler Abusive my Creeper, hit it into their Juggler. Oh yeah, Crimzig
definitely would too.
He's a man with a plan.
And that plan is to win as he nails the 75%, right? Or is it the 66? What is that? It's a 1.5, 1.5.
It's a 67%. So.
Oh, I see.
Uh-huh.
Alrighty. At this point, if you're Banditkeith, what the heck do you do? Do you top deck Elemental Destruction? Is that your out?
Well, if he plays that, that would definitely be very, very important here, but I don't think that he plays that.
Yeah. When Zoo was super duper everywhere, I actually played one of... Oh, man, that's the... that's probably the worst juggle.
Toss out the greetings.
Yeah, the exchange of greetings. The good manners. Always gotta have some good manners. Alrighty. Oh, and even placing your minions properly... I mean, in the proper order, rather. Okay, well...
Oh, and Banditkeith knows it's over and wants to save
dips out. Here. Looks like he is not playing Elemental Destruction, as Crimzig takes game 1 of the series. Crimzig is now left with his Paladin and Druid versus Banditkeith's Warlock, Aggro Shaman, and Druid. How is this looking?
His Druid's actually Aggro Druid, right? I think it is.
Crimzig?
No. Banditkeith. I think it's actually Aggro Druid.
Okay, well that actually changes things up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty. So
I think that will play a role in this series.
Yeah, definitely.
It looks like his lineup is exactly the same as Galen's.
Yeah, Galen loves the aggro. He's been loving the aggro Druid. He's been doing really well in tournaments lately. I think he's been top 4ing every single week. He actually won Tuesday Night Hype a few weeks back. Now, for those of you who don't know, aggro Druid actually has a favored matchup against both Secret Paladin and I believe Midrange Druid, right?
I mean, it's sketchy with the Druid matchup, just because like it's really dependent on draws. But it's definitely favored for Secret Paladin. I'm a little surprised he didn't throw it right now.
Yeah, because it seems like you might hit the Secret Paladin, so that'll be a good one to go. But Aggro Shaman is something you can always win with, depending on just how many nuts you draw out of your deck.
I think the more important thing is that both of them can beat the Paladin pretty easily. Yeah. But I think that I'd rather have my Druid hit his Druid over the Shaman hitting the Druid. But it does hit the Paladin here, so we'll get to see the Shaman play against this Paladin.
Yep, we will see. And Banditkeith has somewhat of a decent curve. He could throw down his Totem Golem with the coin and then use an Abusive Sergeant for maximum Domal Region hitting. And it looks like that is exactly what he is considering.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I definitely Totem Golem here.
Yeah.
It looks like Crimzig has the hero power. That's pretty gross.
That is pretty gross. That is not what you want to do here. You don't want to skip a turn. Even if you're playing a secret, it might even be better. Banditkeith is actually going to set himself up pretty decently for a Flame Tongue Totem. No, the 2-1 will probably die. Never mind.
It'll certainly die here. And I actually think that Crimzig isn't that bad of a spot, despite him having to hero power on turn 2. Just because next turn he can keep or blessing, depending on which one's better.
Mm-hmm.
And Banditkeith sitting here drawing Rock Biters, which aren't very good at all for him.
What about the Doomhammer? He's gonna pull off right on turn 5.
But, well, when it gets to turn 5, if he has a Doomhammer, then I guess he's just the best.
He's just the best.
Currently, these Rock Biters are pretty terrible.
Oh man, he's hovering over that Lava Burst. If you're Banditkeith, you say, screw it, I'm hitting face, and nobody's stopping me.
No, I mean,
okay.
like, this is really bad against this Blessing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, geez, and that Dr. Boom top deck to just add on to the... Oh, what word do I want to use? The barrage of value minions.
I think that the game will probably be decided by that time, like one way or another.
Yeah, I know, but it's good to see. It's good to see a gameplay in the future. You have enough 4-drops to last you the end of the world, and then you throw down your Mysterious Challenger. That means 2 4-drops, by the way. You use your Mysterious Challenger.
I think what I'd like to see, yeah, he did exactly what I thought he was going to do. So this gives him the best presence on the board. If he can Cog Hammer next turn and then Challenger the turn afterwards, it actually gives him a lot of protection against like the Smork life that's going down here. So yeah. I think that's definitely how he should do it.
Mm-hmm. Now it seems as though Banditkeith is just throwing down and trading the 5-2, and hopefully it's just such a... Once again, he's throwing down his Knife Juggler and his Abusive in an attempt to hit one of the juggles, and the Knife Juggler just hits the face again.
Oh my god, that juggler hates him.
I had started saying that sentence before it happened because I was like, what are the odds he doesn't? Oh, do you dip out as Banditkeith if you see like a... what exactly do you not want to see right now? I mean, obviously a Sludge Belcher, but I think a Keeper is pretty discouraging as well, right?
Huh? What?
Hello?
What did you even say?
James?
I'm so confused. I don't think that Banditkeith is actually, like, in an unwinnable spot. Like, if he draws Doomhammer on the next turn, he can easily just kill Crimzig. But I think
that was my question. My question is, what does he not want to see? What does he want to see?
Well, I think it's good for him he didn't see a Belcher come out of Crimzig there, because I think Belcher just wrapped it up. Mm-hmm. But Leopardome is definitely not what he wanted to draw.
Yeah. I mean, at this point in time, he figures, hey, if Crimzig doesn't have too much more of a game plan, I could actually just start clocking him to the face and maybe just draw into some lucky crackles.
So I think I definitely want to see the Leopardome come down here.
Yeah. I think the Rockbiter might have to come down as well, because you know you're going into Mysterious Challenger turn, and you're probably not going to live long enough to get all those Doomhammer swings in. I'm not sure.
I don't know if I would toss it, just because I feel like I'm going to get the 3 damage in no matter when I use it, because even if, like, Get Down comes down...
Well, if Get Down comes down,
I guess if Get Down comes down, this Leopardome will probably die here, so I guess he should just toss it and get the 3 damage in. And then the Leopardome will put him down to 12, so he'll need to, like...
He'll need to just get a nice crackle, a nice totem, bada bing, bada boom. GG, no re, as some would say. And he does decide to go with the Smorkaroni plan. Definitely not a bad one. And Crimzig, I do not recall if he had played a Noble Sack earlier. I'm pretty sure he didn't.
He did not. He hasn't played a Secret yet.
Okay, so this is pretty much guaranteed that Banditkeith will never hit the face again with a swing. Let's see, 5 secrets. I'm almost positive that Repentance is one of them, but I just want to make sure. Alrighty, there's no funky Sacred Trial or potential Eye for an Eye, which might actually be useful here. Oof. Eye for an Eye being useful.
Crimzig decided to just leave Leopardome alive and say that he doesn't care about the Get Down. I think that's smart just because it sets up lethal. This Feral Spirit draw from Banditkeith, it just kind of delays the inevitable. So I think it's good for Crimzig that the Feral Spirit got drawn, just because, like, sure, he won't kill him next turn, but at least it's not a burn card.
Exactly, because if that was a crackle, then, and it rolled 6, Banditkeith had a chance to, stay alive there. Actually, if that was a lightning bolt, no, he wouldn't have gotten that. I definitely would just not swing here if I were Banditkeith.
If you swing, you die. So
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
so now I guess the plan is to like draw a crackle, have it hit for 6, then Leper Gnome finish it off. Something like that.
Seems like the plan. I'm never against drawing crackle and hitting for 6. I don't think anyone is. The likelihood of that is a 1 in 10, and then another 1 in 4, right? 'Cause 3 through 6, so it's a 1 in 40 chance.
He could also draw the second Lava Burst, and then roll Spell Power, and then it's still lethal. He could also draw Ancestral Knowledge into like Lava Burst, Lightning Bolt. No, he doesn't have enough mana for that. Yeah,
No.
so I guess the options are literally limited to Lava Burst and Crackle plus Spell Power.
I would imagine this totem is getting killed, right?
Oh, I would sure hope so.
Crimzig says, nope. Screw that. There is no play.
He should definitely kill the Spell Power totem.
Yeah, it seems like if anything, he's just having trouble dragging his mouse over to that totem. Well, let's see. It's a lightning bolt, and that is not enough to deliver lethal against Crimzig. It is enough to deliver lethal upon yourself, as Crimzig now takes the series 2-0. He just storms in and says, "Give me the lead." He is 1 game away. One
With
win
the honorable
away, rather.
Sudoku there.
Yes, of course. He's 1 win away from getting to the finals. And it's not looking too great for Banditkeith. He still has to win with that Shaman. And once in a while, Shaman just doesn't win anything ever. So, but that happens with every deck. You can't say Shaman in particular.
Crimzig does have Druid left, though, and despite it being broke back, Banditkeith's lineup is pretty solid against it. Like, he could theoretically just reverse sweep this Druid, like, pretty easily.
Yeah.
Zoo is definitely favored. Shaman can beat it. Aggro Druid can beat it. I feel like he can definitely reverse sweep this Druid.
Alrighty, so Banditkeith goes with the strategy of trying to get his wins in from the other decks before going back to Aggro Shaman. And, you know, it might not even matter what Banditkeith does, because if Crimzig's hand is this after he mulligans, it is not going to be pretty for him.
Yeah, I agree.
What are you looking for as the Zoo player? Because we all know that as the Druid, you just want Wild Growth, a 4-drop, a 5-drop. What do you want here as the Zoo, Ginge?
Well, I would want a 1-drop here, just to put on some pressure.
Nope, no 1-drop. Move on.
No 1-drop for him, but he does have a 2/3/4.
Yes,
so, I mean,
that is something he has.
With the Brand and a Defender, that's pretty nasty, but I kind of suspect that the Brand will get taken care of whenever he plays it.
Well, we do not see a Wild Growth in Crimzig's hand, and that might be what keeps him from getting rid of that Brand Bronzebeard. In addition, we don't... Oh, never mind. I was going to say we don't see an Innervate, which is usually how Druid absolutely wins this game, but there it is. It's that one card that seems like it was just put in the game yesterday. I don't know.
This hand's pretty sick for Crimzig, to be honest. It gives him a lot of options. He has a Wrath, a Keeper. He can Wrath on 2 and then Innervate the Drake on 3 into Shredder on 4. That's
or
an
even
option.
a coin 5-drop or a coin 6-drop after you play your 4-drop. There are a lot of things that he can do here. And I think the decision here is, do I play my Shredder? I think the answer is no, but it wouldn't be terribly punished.
Problem with the Shredder is that he has a Wrath for 2, but then he has no 3-play. And I think that, especially because your opponent didn't play a 1-drop, there's no reason to skip turn 3 here. Like, if you just pass on turn 1, you leave yourself with infinite options.
I agree entirely. Alright, Force of Nature. So Crimzig is saying, alright, I'm done drawing good cards. Let me just get the combo and seal the deal here.
Force isn't, like, terrible. Like, obviously it's the first half of the combo, but I think that just using it as a removal to clear, like, a couple 2/2s here on turn 6 won't be terrible. Especially with Crimzig having so much early removal. His board, Banditkeith's board should be pretty weak by then.
Yeah.
So I think it's totally fine.
Definitely
Actually, really like the
agreeable.
patience here playing the Shredder. Some people might choose to keep her there, but then he would have had no answer for this Brand Bronzebeard, so it's really worked out for Crimzig.
Well, I mean, as Banditkeith, do you possibly Flame Imp and then Direwolf Alpha to get rid of the Shredder and then retake board dominance?
I think you have to. Like, if you play Imp Gang or Bran, then Crimzig can just value trade with the Shredder and then Keeper the Peddler, and then you're really far behind. So
yeah,
I think that the play here has to be Direwolf Alpha, Flame Imp, and then trade. But that does feel really bad just because Crimzig can coin out the Keeper, trade the Shredder into one of the two, and then Keeper the other. And
the problem is, you would, as Banditkeith, if you think about it hard enough, you would probably assume that Crimzig has a 4-drop because he wouldn't play so off curve in this situation in the sense that if he had a Shade to play next, he probably would have played it on turn 1, and he wouldn't do this innervate.
I actually don't know if you can assume that, just because like if he plays the Shade turn 1, then he doesn't really have a turn 2 or turn 3 play. So I think that it's not necessarily like saying like, oh, he doesn't have a Shade. Like Crimzig could still have a Shade here. It turns out obviously that he does have the Keeper.
Yeah.
If he does Keeper here, then he's kind of in an awkward position for next turn, just because he will have the Keeper down, but his only play will be Wrath, and it's kind of awkward for the Wrath to trade with the Imp, or with the Wrath and the Keeper to trade with the Imp Gang boss. So I do think that he coin Keepers and then trades, just because like it's his only option other than like Wrath trade. But if he Wrath trades, he's behind on board. It just seems bad.
I agree. Keeper seems okay. Well, it seems like Crimzig is just about 1 to 2 steps ahead of Ginge and thinks, nah.
He decided to Wrath trade. It's interesting because like now Banditkeith can just play one of the straight drops in the Voidwalker, and I guess Crimzig is planning on coining the Drake.
I guess Crimzig really didn't want to throw off his curve. He didn't want to risk a dead draw. I suppose he figured that skipping turn 3 is better for him than skipping turn 4 because he's not staring at a huge board. And in addition, this kind of plays around Implosion because you don't have a minion for him to Implosion. So if that's his only play, you're robbing him of that.
Very true. But you're not really.
Okay, are you making it?
I'm dying. So you don't really skip turn 4 because you do have the Wrath and Hero Power. So the Implosion actually isn't very strong unless it hits for 4. Like even if it hits for 3, you can kind of clean it up. So I don't know if playing around Implosion there was the best thing to do.
It's definitely a safe play. Wow, that MC Tech is a clear addition to play around Zulok in particular. And as Crimzig here, do you silence the 2-4, or do you just throw down your Azure Drake?
Well, if he decides to go with Azure Drake, he's really going to get punished by this Defender. But I think that you get punished by Defender no matter what. So I think you do go with Azure Drake. But I think that it's going to feel really bad for Crimzig. If he had... wow. Yeah, like... He's just in kind of a bad spot. I mean, he can coin Force next turn to help clear this off if Banditkeith does decide to Defender of Argus. But now that this happened, I think that Imp King Boss Creeper might be better.
Definitely, yeah, because the Argus is not getting what you thought you were going to get out of it, and to play on curve and just flood the board might be the better option, especially since Druid doesn't have too many ways to deal with things that aren't, 1 health. This seems like a pretty decent line. However, you could always just go with the Argus, maybe even trade off the Keeper, and say, hey, look, I got 3 minions, you ain't got nothing.
If you do go with that Argus play, then like he can just force and clear your Bran and your Voidwalker. So,
but you don't really want to happen because you are holding a Sea Giant, and you kind of want to get that thing down. Because there could be a point in time where you're just kind of 1 mana short every time, so maybe it's not in your best interest as Banditkeith to set yourself up for your board to get cleared. Alrighty, so Crimzig can use Force of Nature. That is something that can happen. It doesn't seem like
seems weak. I think that I would MCT here, just because like worst case scenario, I get like, I think actually the worst case scenario is the Voidwalker probably, maybe the Spider, but no matter what, I can like MCT, take a minion, and then clear 1 off. Yeah, now he can clear the spider. Like he can just 2-4 into 1-2 hero power down one of the 1/1s.
Yeah, and then you're kind of facing a somewhat even board. Maybe you're a little bit ahead. Luckily for Crimzig, he does have that BGH that will be able to take care of that Sea Giant, which is a huge deal. If you don't have that, then you'll really be in a sticky situation.
I think that Crimzig is okay with it being like an evenish board because as the later it gets in the game, the better it is for him. Just because all his minions are bigger. And then with the BGH, he doesn't really need to be worried about some of the bigger threats like Dr. Boom, Sea Giant out of Zoo.
Definitely.
So,
yeah.
I think
However, as Banditkeith here, you can play your entire hand. This is actually really solid. Even though the Sea Giant can get BGH'd, you're going to have a pretty sticky board here.
You will have a sticky board, but like the BGH and then some trading out of Crimzig will make it like.
Oh no! Don't Sea Giant! Don't Sea Giant! Don't play the Argus. No.
I would Argus and then play Sea Giant.
Yes, Banditkeith, no, Banditkeith, please. Banditkeith. Ah, there you go.
Okay, so
right. That was a close call. Almost gave me a darn heart attack. It would have been me who died here, not Ginge. Let's make sure he has the time to play everything he has to play and clear however he wants to clear, and it seems as though Banditkeith is staring at an awesome board here.
It is awesome, but like it's not as good as it looks just because Crimzig can BGH here. He doesn't get to play like another good minion with it, so he can like BGH and then trade hero power. But then the Force of Nature next turn can like help clear off some more. So it's not as good as I thought it was for Crimzig, just because he can't play another minion with the BGH.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's also very very awkward Force of Nature because everything on Banditkeith's side of the field has 3, right? And that just makes Force of Nature such a bad situation.
I think that the Flame Imp draw was really crucial for Banditkeith there, because if that Flame Imp wasn't there, then like the Sea Giant probably would have gotten defendered, and then it would be just eliminated by the BGH.
Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, so he's actually opting not to BGH.
Yeah, this is probably actually better. Despite him taking a lot of damage here, it gives him way more options. So like next turn he can BGH coin Drake, and I think that's what he's going for here. It's really unfortunate that he couldn't BGH and get something down that turn, but
yeah, definitely. I mean, even if he had a Shredder, that would have been really great. But he kind of used his luck up earlier with all the 4 drops he had in the beginning. So it's pretty unlikely that he draws into one of those now. But Banditkeith is just asserting his dominance, swinging to the dome, and kind of getting in Banditkeith's face here, saying, you don't have any removal. What are you going to do about this? Ooh, Crimzig is actually playing that 5-10 taunt.
That was pretty nice. It won't come down here, obviously, but
he is nice in a later turn if Banditkeith doesn't just draw PO.
Yeah.
If he draws PO, is then lethal. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that is exact. Now it's 1 over, actually, if the juggle hits face.
That's true.
Yeah. And as Crimzig, you got to get rid of the 8-8, don't you?
Yeah. I'm not sure why he's taking so long, but he'll definitely come to the play of Azure Drake coin BGH.
Not to try to quote Demigod, but draw first. So. Alrighty. Seems like a very decent situation for Banditkeith.
Banditkeith can still tap for the PO, but I actually think that and Banditkeith will not be able to kill Crimzig here, and I think that Crimzig can easily still win this game because he can taunt the war, and then he can lure, heal his face, he can force to clear, and he still has another taunt. His hand's like really, truly perfect for the comeback.
Yeah, I agree. Oh wow, I have actually not really seen a Golden Blood Imp. That looks really cool, but definitely not definitely. You would probably take Soulfire here if you're Banditkeith, right?
Yeah, just because I feel like you might end up needing that extra burst or that extra removal depending on how the game goes.
Extra reach.
And I mean, like, there's merit for taking the Flame Imp probably. Oh yeah, and he decides to take the Flame Imp.
I mean, it's a body that you can play right now, and another chance to hit that juggle onto the Azure, which, holy jeez, Banditkeith's Knife Juggler hates him.
Yeah, it really does.
Oh my god.
So now, Crimzig can taunt the war or force. Force might be better. Is force better?
Force.
Force is a little riskier just because you could die, but I think it's actually the way to go. Because you can force, clear down the 3 2-health minions, Drake into the 2/3, hero power down the 1/1, and then hope you don't die. And then
It's
next turn
essentially a
taunt
matter
the war.
of whether you want to heal 10 damage or 8 damage here. Or rather, prevent 10 damage or 8 damage. So whether you think that 2 damage makes a huge difference.
I think I'd force clear the 2/2s.
Now, another question is, do you maybe war because a top deck Savage Orb would be lethal?
But is it actually lethal, though? Because, like...
The Azure Drake probably won't die. Well, actually...
I mean, like, the Azure Drake, like, could die. I think this is definitely the way to go.
Yeah, definitely. It's a more active way to clear this board off and slowly secure yourself into a realm of safety. However, if Banditkeith does get a power overwhelming off the top, he just takes the game.
He has 2 draws for it, but I think this is last turn to do it. Like, if he doesn't do it now, the game's over.
Oh, and he gets an Abusive Sergeant, which is just 1 off. However, he is still setting himself up for what to him seems like a decent board situation, but we know that Crimzig is playing the 5/10 taunt, and things will just slowly get out of control for Banditkeith, unfortunately for him.
I think I might toss down the Leroy here. And
I think so too. Yeah. Because you have the 1/3.
You have the 1/3 to like make it so that the Leroy is protected, and because if you don't, and then he does taunt the war, or even taunt the claw, really, it kind of sucks for you. So I think you definitely Leroy here. Yeah,
definitely. I would agree with you.
He decides not to do it. I think that will turn out to be pretty terrible for him.
Well, you gotta realize that most druids do not play the 5/10 taunt, and so it's not necessarily his immediate thought.
Even if he's dropping down like a Druid of the Claw, it would still be better, unless he also has like a removal.
I agree. I'm just trying to see it from Banditkeith's point of view. He does get an implosion, which can help him clear this off. And can he? No, he can't potentially get lethal with that, can he? If he gets a PO. No, not even if he gets a PO. Well, at this point, do you just play your hand?
I'm not sure if I would Leroy now, just because it's not as good as it was last turn.
Yeah.
But I think I would start by implosioning and see what happens. Okay, I guess he's tapping first, so he's committed to like implosioning and not Leroy in here.
Yeah.
We nailed a 4. That's solid for him for sure.
That is solid, definitely. Especially if Crimzig doesn't have a swipe. And these 1/1s could be here to stay. And who knows, what if Banditkeith plays Mal'Ganis and just gets that super surprise lethal?
I think that if Crimzig had drawn a swipe there, it would have been game over, because he can just swipe, taunt the claw, and then there's no coming back.
At this point, do you just maybe silence the egg and then taunt the claw?
I guess that's what you have to do. Yeah, I think that's probably what he should do.
Now, if you do that, are you dead to a top deck PO?
No.
No?
Not quite.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes, you are, because he can trade the Leroy in.
Yeah. Yeah. So you are dead to a PO. So actually, Crimzig might be thinking that out and might just think that it's better to throw 2 damage onto one of the imps, because that seems to be the only way he loses this game. And he does not. But you know what? Hindsight could be 20/20. In addition, he does not see the Leroy. Like, what are the odds that that's Leroy?
I mean, by now, he should know it's Leroy. Because, like, Banditkeith has been doing nothing with it.
Oof.
Banditkeith, man, never lucky, dude.
Never, ever
for this PO for quite a while.
Yeah.
Can't hit it at all.
He might not even be able to kill the 4/6 if if the juggler doesn't juggle his way, which it might be worth noting that every single game for Banditkeith, the Knife Juggler has actually hit the worst possible outcome every single game. Literally every game.
I think that even if it does die through the juggle here from the low sub, he's in a bad spot because Crimzig could just do some trading and then drop the lore, heal himself, and then, like, how does he ever lose from there?
Yeah, I agree. But Knife Juggler says, hey, we're in it for the long run here. I'll help you. I'll help you win this game real quick.
Looks like Crimzig or Banditkeith is going to get one more turn of tapping for lethal because looks like Crimzig will heal, drop the 2/4 into the juggler, and then hero power the face.
Yeah. Darn. It's really unfortunate for Banditkeith. He has 11 cards left, and 2 of them are PO. Now he's sitting at a 2 in 11. That's like 1 in 5.5.
There's also a peddler left, so he could peddler and try to hit
Is there a peddler left? No, there's no peddler left. He's played both.
What did he get with the first one?
It was at the very beginning of the game. Do you remember? He got PL, was it? It was a long time ago.
Oh, you might be right. All right, I'll take it.
Trading it into the Shredder with the Direwolf Alpha.
You're right.
You remember?
You're right.
We're deciding whether he should keep her that or not. Okay, and throwing down 1 damage onto the 0-1. Abusive Sergeant, does that do it? No.
Oh, it doesn't. That's a tease, man.
Oh man.
My god! Banditkeith is so unlucky.
Never, ever lucky. Yeah, that pretty much seals the deal for Crimzig because, you know, even if you trade off this whole board, you lose to combo, you lose to force swipe, you lose... Wait, did he force twice? Yeah, he did. He did force twice.
Oh, wow. I'm really off my...
But so you can't actually lose to combo, but, you know, you kind of lose to heal, and I think that's what's about to happen.
Heal, you lose to taunt. Yeah, I think I would just lure heal myself and then hero power down the abusive. He's just going for
Dr. Boom.
I think that both of them are fine. Like, you're not going to die here, and I don't see how you lose either way.
What if he top decks PO into PO?
Oh, he could draw PO and then tap it to PO, I guess.
That's 1!
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my gosh!
That'd be so funny.
Holy cheese. That's 1, okay? You gotta go for it. You gotta go for it.
You got it, man.
Oh, that's not it! He doesn't get it. Oh man, it goes down to the wire, and in the end, Banditkeith is just 3 damage off.
Feels bad for Banditkeith. I feel like he got unlucky to lose this game.
Definitely. This is one that you really expect to win against the Druid, and just having your PO be in your bottom 9, having both POs be in your bottom 9, it's a little unfortunate. Banditkeith is possibly considering a way to just stay in the game, but I'm not seeing it.
I mean, like, you can live by, like, Leroying and POing it and then killing the boom, but then, like, Crimzig just heals himself or drops Drake Shredder. He can do whatever he wants after this Leroy PO comes down.
That's no way to live, James. That's no way to live.
He doesn't even have to PO. He could just trade in the spider, I guess, but, like, PO will never get value now.
There we go, and he top decks the Druid of the Claw. Nice little well-played exchange, kind of acknowledging, oh, come on, dude. Oh, come on, dude. Alright. That could have been such a BM. Acknowledging, I'm sure Crimzig realized that Banditkeith probably did not get the draws he wanted, but Crimzig sweeps Banditkeith to throw himself into the finals against Chloe Bell. In Tuesday Night Hype number 68, we will come back at you with the finals in just a minute or two. Stick around.